good morning, good afternoon, wherever we are at on this Friday. I had a couple thoughts as I was journaling, and I wanted to share them in here. So earlier this week, just follow along. Earlier this week, I had kind of an unexpected monkey wrench thrown into my day, right? And so I had to reroute, and it didn't go well. And I mean, it went fine. The day was fine, and subsequent days have been fine, but they've been very busy, and I haven't been protecting my pockets of time that I have to do the things. Does that make any sense? Like, I know I work out best in the morning. I shared about that the other day. Like, my workout got pushed into the afternoon, and then I struggled, and I kind of allowed that struggle to build momentum with the stories I was telling myself, with the thoughts I was having around it. And I was spending all this mental energy thinking about the it's that I needed to do. I was already spending the energy instead of actually taking the time to just do my best with what I had. So instead of getting through some work stuff that I had scheduled that was on my calendar, getting through like reading a book or prioritizing getting my feet in the grass or doing an energy practice, like those things were rattling around in my brain and taking up mental space. So I was already expending energy, but I just wasn't doing them. I was living in that procrastination, overthinking, shoulding, instead of just doing it and having the satisfaction that I did my best, even if it wasn't perfect, even if it wasn't the entire thing. And so I was kind of paralyzed all week, shooting all over the place and feeling bad and feeling guilt and allowing myself, I was creating overwhelm in my life because I was in my head instead of taking the action. And I think a lot of you, that might resonate, where instead of just doing the thing and taking the action, you overthink it and you procrastinate it and you put it off. And so if you're there, I want you to hear my words. I want you to hear my words when you're not listening to this later in your life and be like, I am spending the time, energy, space thinking about it, shooting all over it, all over the place, instead of just doing it. So what do you need to do today? What have you been procrastinating? What have you been shooting and saying you're going to get to and wasting that time and energy instead of just taking the 5 minutes that you're thinking about it and touching it? Your journey is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be linear. All the things, as much as we plan and we prioritize and you figure out where your pockets of time are and when you can fit this in, things will never be 100% like according to plan. There will be monkey wrenches. And so I'm not asking you to be like super resilient. That's not what this is. It's not about you going with the flow, but I'm asking you to be aware of the mindset blocks that you are putting in your own way. Okay, so I thought about that today. I did some brain dumping. I journaled around it, and I have just felt so tired because I'm thinking about it so much, and I'm replaying it, and I should have, and I could have, and why didn't I? Instead of just saying, okay, things didn't go according to plan. I got off track for a couple of days. Instead of just doing what I could today and not bringing yesterday into today. That's what I was doing. I just keep bringing that day that didn't unfold the way I had anticipated it in my head. I allow that to come into today, into yesterday and then today. And so at some point after my workout, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm wasting so much time and energy thinking about it and shooting over it and feeling bad, feeling as though it's derailed me when it hasn't derailed me. I'm allowing the derailment to continue. So if that's where you're at on a Friday, if this week didn't unfold the way you expected or you had some unexpected thing, feel it. Surrender it, brain dump about it if you need to, and then take some forward moving action so that you can change the story in your head, right? Sometimes it's like we're skipping, like we just keep glitching and you keep thinking about it and replaying it, but it doesn't serve you and doesn't change any of the circumstances, okay? So do what you can with what you have today. I just set some fresh alarms in my phone. I am a big believer in figuring out where your gaps are in your day. And if you're like me, like, yeah, I'm home the majority of the time, but my days, they don't look the same. And there's a lot of different activities. There's a lot of squirrels I could chase. There's a lot of ways to get distracted. So it's like really freaking important I have found to figure out those little tiny pockets where this is where my workout fits best. And will it always be convenient? No. Will there be other days that I have to tweak it a little? Yeah. Are there going to be times where I can't get it all in? Totally. But I know that's the pocket of time I need to try and preserve and protect and show up to it. Okay, so I set an alarm in my phone. I had a whole bunch, I have a gazillion alarms. I actually just deleted a bunch. And then a few of them I slid to silent. A few new ones I added in. I actually added in 3 breathing pockets today. I'm taking this journaling course, and she was talking about how it's so important to just take 1 or 2 minutes a couple times throughout the day to put your feet in the grass, or to practice your breath, or to just completely unplug and be silent, or maybe turn on music really loud if that revives you, right? But scheduling in 3 little breathing pockets, just a couple minutes, maybe 10 if you're feeling super generous. But for me, I can commit to a 2-minute breathing pocket. I can commit to 2 minutes where I put my feet in the grass, and I need that accountability of an alarm. Otherwise, I'll get to it. It'll roll down my to-do list. So that's where you're at. I'm encouraging you to set a couple alarms on your phone. What do you need to do? Is it a nudge to drink your water? Is it a nudge for you to tell yourself some affirmations? Is it a nudge for a breathing pocket or to put your feet in the grass? Is it a 7:58 a.m. alarm so that you remember to get on Zoom? Because every single day at 8 a.m. we're on Zoom. FYI, I don't think anyone's going to be on tomorrow. I have to drive for a baseball tournament. A couple of the other regulars are traveling, but that Zoom is open. You're free to use it. If you need a different time, raise your hand, show up in here, let us know. I know there's a couple girls that are trying to figure out where it fits best in their day, and maybe you can become accountability partners. Maybe you can become workout buddies, you guys. It's not all or nothing. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to fit into my schedule, because this is your life. This is your journey. So watch yesterday's live if you're struggling with this kind of overwhelm, or you need to do an energy practice. You guys, some is better than none, and done is always better than perfect. And if you are falling into that same trap that I found myself in today, where I keep replaying a day that didn't go the way I wanted it to, and then allowing that to carry into my whole week, instead of being like, that happened, and the day wasn't bad, the day wasn't shot. I still showed up to my journey. I still checked all my boxes. But for some reason, the fact that I was out of order and it wasn't my best, it really got under my skin. And I haven't been able to just be like, whatever, it is what it is. I was bringing yesterday into today. It doesn't belong in today. I'm uninviting it, okay? So I took the time. I have made a big, well, it's not big, but it's I have a to-do list of the things I said I was going to do all week. And I've just been kicking the can and procrastinating and coming up with these reasons why I can't do it all, so I shouldn't do any, which is totally the opposite of what I tell you. And so I made a brain dump and I prioritized my stuff. You guys, I know it's so easy to be like, I'll get to me later. My family comes first. I have all these other events happening. I get that. And I've been doing that. And it kind of sucks my soul. And then I'm back in my head and I'm thinking about all the ways I'm not showing up for myself and I'm not protecting my little tiny pockets of time. Okay? So that's where you're at. Take a minute and get clear around it. Set some alarms in your phone to help you nudge yourself, because let's be real, there's 500 million things that we're all trying to juggle and balance. And sometimes we need that extra layer of accountability and support from ourselves. Like me setting those alarms for 3 breathing pockets, me turning back on my workout alarm in the morning, that's me giving myself the space to succeed. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to be all or nothing. That's not how we win at this journey. But it's those constant reminders that I matter and that I can take the 2 freaking minutes, or I can show up to my workout for 5 minutes and still count it as a win. Okay? So if you need to do that, set some alarms on your phone. I actually was like a million squirrels in my brain this morning after I got my workout in. I was like, I need to post about it. I need to tag this person. I need to post this. I need to do that. And I was so overwhelmed. So I brain dumped the stuff I had to do. And then I told myself, I made myself a cup of coffee and I set the clock on my phone for 1 hour. Ugh! And I was like, oh, I don't have an hour. I'm already behind. I'm so behind. I have all these things I have to do. But I was like, you have 1 hour, because let's be honest, how often do we start scrolling, or we start watching reels, or you pull up YouTube, or before you know it, you're on this website, right? So I set the timer in my phone for an hour, and then I actually took a picture of what I was going to do because I wanted to share it on social media. And then I put the phone in an entirely different room because I am finding that I am buffering and procrastinating and self-soothing by when something gets uncomfortable or I'm not quite sure what I should be doing or it feels like I'm not doing it right. Does that make sense? I just want to get online and I want to distract myself. I recognize that behavior and it's not making me feel good. Someone at my door? Yeah, someone's at my door. So anyways, that's your nudge. Set some timers on your phone. Create those pockets and be okay with moving the pockets around, like experiment. I think that this time will work for me. Give it a couple days. If it doesn't, then you move the timer to a different time of day. Yesterday doesn't belong in today. Every single day is a fresh start. If we allow it to be a fresh start for ourselves, like we're the author of that. We get to choose if we're going to keep bringing the same sad story in, or if every single day we allow ourselves to be a work in progress. I am a work in progress alongside you. I share all these things not because I'm talking at you, but because this is what I need. I don't have a coach. I did recently sign up to have like a coach, but sometimes we have to fill the gap for ourselves and that's okay. Right. So if you need that reminder, I believe in you. You absolutely can do this. You're exactly where you need to be today. But if you keep bringing yesterday into today, that will not serve you and it will not encourage you and it will not help you build to your next level you. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be yours. And the way you figure that out is to start protecting your peace, to start protecting your little pockets of time. I'm going to work out here and I'm going to show up and do this. And if I don't get it done exactly the way I thought, I can still choose to be resilient and keep the ball rolling.